Source maps obviously have a limit to how big they can be. I mean, in the past we've seen some very humongous maps, but what I stumbled upon recently really fascinated me. It all started thanks to a dear viewer by the name of Tom. I got this suggestion to look at a map called Vice City, like it's all of Vice City from the game, ported into Garry's mod. It's almost a one-to-one port. There are some very minor differences or small errors, but it isn't anything too jarring. But I was absolutely amazed by this. One of my most favorite video game locations ported entirely to Garry's mod. Now, I wanted to dig a little deep and see how this all worked. How did he get a map this big into Garry's mod? That's when I saw this. GM Infinite Map by the user me. Now, this is a map and a map base for other mappers. In a way, you can say this map is the biggest map ever made for Garry's mod. I mean, seriously, it does not end no matter how fast you go in one direction, because, like the name says, it's infinite. Now, keep in mind that this is an experimental map, meaning whatever magic that's running behind this map is subject to have add-on conflicts and other technical mumbo-jumbo I just don't know about. However, in my experience with having a dozen or so add-ons enabled, it all worked out fine. Now, this idea opens up a whole new perspective of map making. Like, I have 2 maps to showcase today, plus a bonus one, but imagine how many absolutely huge maps from other games can be ported over to Garry's mod now, thanks to this map base. So the 2 maps I wanted to show you were built on this map base by Flodor 88000. They are Liberty City and Vice City, like I showed before. And I can imagine a port of San Andreas isn't too far off. Now, right off the bat that you'll notice is that the lighting is a bit off. Maybe a drawback for the infinite map base, but still, in this condition it still looks okay. Later in the footage, you'll notice I try a skybox changing add-on that adds in fog and changes the sky. Both of these effects work pretty well. And speaking of add-ons, I only tried the Sim Fizz cars and they worked pretty well, apart from some areas in the Vice City map where I kept falling through the floor, expecting to land in the back rooms, I guess. One thing that would be baller to do on these maps would be dark RP, but I imagine you'd need a very powerful server machine to run this map, because even after you load in, the game starts, but you still have to wait almost 2 to 3 minutes for the actual map geometry to load. So, I don't know, sounds like a fun idea though. Mix Garry's mod's chaotic nature against the backdrop of Liberty City or Vice City. One thing I wanna add in as a note is that you need to run Garry's mod as a 64-bit client. Now, I'm not gonna show you how to do it because it's very simple, but you need the x64 client running to run these maps. Anyway, for the map themselves, I can't really say much because we all know what these are. This version of Liberty City appeared in many games, first in GTA 3 and then other games like Liberty City Stories and GTA Advance. Similarly, Vice City was the map in GTA Vice City and Vice City Stories, and maybe for the upcoming GTA 6, but obviously that Vice City is not gonna be the same one as this one. Anyway, in some places I feel like the textures have been swapped out because they look kinda high res, but still ain't that big of a deal. Now, these are places that I spent most of my childhood in. I distinctly remember back in around 2001 or 2002 when I used to play GTA 3 on my Pentium computer and I saw Vice City's gameplay footage for the first time on a TV show called Gamer TV. Good times, man. And funnily enough, the first thing that me and my brother noticed on the new gameplay footage was that the HUD was all colored now. Lamau. But these are just 2 examples for the infinite map base. Maybe in due time we'll be seeing more mappers utilizing it for porting maps, like the Stalker maps or the Fallout maps, or hell, even maps from the Zelda games. Go crazy, I don't care. Now, I did imply that there isn't a port of the San Andreas map, but there is one. But not of this one, but rather the one from GTA, the original one. While it looks pretty basic and, like the original game, I did like the new perspective from the ground level since the original game was all top down. And the map isn't no slouch in terms of size either. Even without the infinite map base, it is still a humongous map. One thing off about it is the proportions of the roads and the buildings because it feels like normal Garry's Mod characters and vehicles are a bit big compared to the rest of the world. But that's to be expected when you're porting a 2.5D map to full 3D. But yeah, like always, there's always something going on in the Garry's Mod sphere that just surprises me. I mean, they made a literal endless infinite map. What's next? 4-dimensional maps? Real haunted maps with actual ghosts in them? I don't know. Anyway, that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and a big thanks to these members for supporting the channel. Jason, Cobalt Wagon, Klaus, One Ton Studios, TTG, Panda T, Winter, Stevus Brevis, Valley152, Slam Dance, Lamdry, 15 Glorious Minutes, Geote, Hawk Assault, Cop Fighter, Mr. Spaban, Alien Grunt, Mark Jellen, A Normal Street Lamp, T-Boy301, TRR Droid, The Hazardous Memer, Bipolit the Fighter, Forgotten, and Skyclad. Thanks again, and see you in the next one.